All right, greetings, class, and welcome to week number 13. That is right, week number 13 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and what we are going to be doing this week is a quick state of the course update, and then after our state of the course update, I am going to show you very quickly a couple of databases that can help you with car maintenance, car repair, as well as small engine maintenance and small engine repair. This is going to be a couple of public library databases. So if you are focused on the academic libraries or the K-12 libraries or special libraries, this one is still good for you to know, but you might not be using it in professional practice that much. However, that does not mean that you won't come across it and have some use for it for yourself or for your friends, for people you know on social media, so forth and so on. Everybody can benefit from the library's knowledge, and so we are going to increase your library knowledge so that you can increase the library knowledge of others. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into it with that state of the course update. Pause. All right, so the first thing to know is unless there were some extenuating circumstances with your Wikipedia edit assignment, you have gotten that back by now. If you have not gotten a grade for your Wikipedia edit assignment, then by all means contact me, because that does mean that there is something going on that we need to figure out. So yes, your Wikipedia edit assignments are graded. We are done with sync sessions in this class. So really what you have left are this weekend coming up, you have your LibGuides due that you have to turn in, and then also you have the discussion board prompt number 6, which you have to turn in. So actually, let's close out October and November the 3rd. So as you can see there, again, you have your, on November the 17th, you do have your, which is Sunday, you do have your discussion board prompt number 6 due, but then also, don't forget your LibGuide is also due. I do not know why the LibGuide isn't coming up in the to-do list, but it is here. So for November the 17th, it is due. You need to have it done on Sunday and either give me a link, or if you don't give me a link, then I will find it in the box. But do not, and I repeat, do not password protect your LibGuide, because if you do that, I cannot grade it. So again, do not do that, okay? It really slows me down when I have to track people down and ask them to unpassword protect their LibGuides, all right? So that's the main thing that you have going on this weekend, discussion board prompt and LibGuide. And then after that, you just have one more discussion board prompt, which will be due on December 5th. So after you get back from Thanksgiving, so you don't have to worry about any more discussion board prompts in November after this one. And then your semester-long project that I hope you've been working on steadily since it became available will be due on December 9th. If you have not been working on your semester-long project, go ahead and get on it, because yes, the due date is coming up quicker than you realize. And also, people have told me that it took them about 40 hours total to complete the semester-long project. So given that, you don't want to wait until your last 2 weeks to start on it. All right, and that's pretty much it for the state of the course update. You all have been doing fine, and if you have any questions, please email me. There are some outstanding emails related to the LibGuide that I am hoping to get to within 24 hours. I'm recording this at 8:37 p.m. on November the 11th, okay? All right, so that's pretty much it for the state of the course update. Let's go ahead and look at those databases I was just talking about. All right, so the two databases that I will be showing you all today are going to be the small engine auto repair database, which is the EBSCO database, and then I am also going to show you the Chilton Library database, which is not a EBSCO database, but it is something. If you've seen all of those like Chilton car repair manuals whenever you go to AutoZone or one of those places, yes, that stuff is also available. Yes, you can buy it from the car repair places, but that stuff is also available through a library resource. And this is why I tell people, learn what your library offers, because people are paying for a lot of stuff that they could get through their local library. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and, again, these are going to be more so public library databases, so I'm going to access it through my public library, and you need to ask your public library whether or not you have access to these databases. Another thing that I want to say, though, is even though my library, Mid-Continent Public Library, does not have the car or automobile component to the small engine repair database, there actually is a a tier of that database where you can also get information for cars. It's just that I do believe that the Chilton Library database is better, and so that's probably for my library why they went with that instead of getting the tier with automotive repair from the EBSCO database. However, your library may be doing something different. You just need to check in with your library. All right, so let's go ahead and visit Mid-Continent Public Library. And again, I'm going to be showing you all two databases today. All right, so what I'm going to do is come here and we're going to go to automotive and small engine. I am doing the reverse of probably what I should do. I probably should show you the more important database first, but I'm going to show you the lesser database first, get through it quicker, and then show you the Chilton Library database. All right, so let's go ahead and small engine repair reference center. This really searches like a lot of your EBSCO databases. So I'm in there now. And so what you can do, and again, this is just simplified. Now, again, if your local library has the tier of this that also has the car information in it, then great. That's good too. But I think that Mid-Continent probably didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So because they had the Chilton Library access, they didn't also get the added on tier for auto repair reference center. Okay, but what we can do is they don't have automobiles in here, but they do have your motorcycles, all-terrain vehicles, personal watercrafts, snowmobiles, all sorts of other cool things in here. And I am actually going to go into the motorcycles. And what you can do when searching this database is, well, I'm showing you right now. And by the way, this, and I tell you all this with all the databases that I show you, this is not a tutorial, this is an introduction. So if you want an actual tutorial, find one online. You can find them usually within the library or within the database or on YouTube or Venmo or something like that. But find a actual tutorial if you want one in order to master this database. And then also you can, well, you're also welcome to just trial the database, try it, and just make sure that you can get a good handle on it that way. So let's do Harley-Davidson is always, of course, very popular. So we can do Harley-Davidson. And then you get these various models. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick one. Let's say that you are working with something fairly recent. And I don't know anything about motorcycles, so let's do this guy. It looks like it had been in, looks like they've been manufacturing this particular motorcycle for a while now. So what you do once you've picked one, you get these results here and you see we've got 394 results. And so what you do from there is you can kind of like filter basically, right? So I could come in here. I've got all these 394 results. You can also, I don't know that this is going to be very helpful. This was a 2005 thing, and they probably haven't really produced since these stopped being produced in 1998. I'm not sure that they're going to have anything more recent than 2005, but let's take a look and see what happens. Yeah, so it's going to be 2005. So with some of these other databases that I've shown you, like Academic Search Complete and those sorts of things, it will make a difference if you go from relevance to like newest first or oldest first and that sort of thing. But it's not going to make too much of a difference in this particular database, okay? So knowing that, I'm going to switch it back over to relevance. And what you can do from here is, let's say that this is the model you want, but let's say that you are seeing all this and you're like, okay, well, I specifically know that I'm trying to deal with lighting of my motorcycle, right? So what you can do if you're here and you've got these 394 results and you don't want to just go through all of them, you can add filters, but these, well, for this database, the filters are probably useless. So not even going there. What you can do is add things up here. So what I'm going to do is first try light and see if anything pops up. I was actually hoping that nothing would pop up, but there you go. Because what I wanted to show you is that for this particular database right here, the truncation symbol works a lot and it is your best friend, okay? So when you're in this particular database, what you want to do is, light in this case worked, but sometimes this database will not make the distinction between light and lighting. And you can have either of those with these auto repair or small engine repair manuals, right? So if you're not getting a distinction between light and lighting, like if I'm doing this and I get light and I get lights, but lighting isn't showing up. And for some other searches, because this has happened to me plenty of times when searching this database, for some other searches, when you don't have the, if you don't put specifically what it's looking for, which would be lighting in a lot of cases, then it's not going to bring anything back. Like if you hit light and it's looking for lighting, it's not going to bring you back the light results. So what you have to do is use your truncation symbol. And again, for those of you who may have forgotten or didn't see the video where I talked about truncation, because I only talked about it for a little bit. So the truncation symbol is something that you can use to kind of truncate your words so that once you put the asterisk there, it will search for anything that has that as the root word. So for example, if you put light and then the truncation symbol, what it will do is at the same time, it will search for light. It will search for lights, plural, which it kind of, EBSCO databases do that kind of anyway. But it will also, lighting, it will find that, and then anything else that has the root word of light. So if I do this and then click search, first of all, when you put light, you get 6 results. Let's see if we have more results with lighting. Yeah. So, I mean, with light truncated. Sorry, I said lighting. No, I didn't do lighting. I did light and then truncated. And you see we went from 6 results to now 9 results. And it is bringing back things that are lighting and not just light. Okay, so I hope all of that made sense. And then what you do is you simply, once you find something you want, you can just access that PDF. Let it load. I'm going to pause while it loads so you don't have to watch this. Okay, and then now it's loaded. And once it's loaded, now I have something like this. And these are the instructions so that you can repair that issue, the ignition / lighting switch issue within your Harley Davidson motorcycle. And so again, you had a host of different types of, first of all, you have, if you go into motorcycles specifically, you have different brands. You have Honda, you have Harley Davidson, et cetera, et cetera. But outside of that, the other thing to remember is that if you have, is that you do have all of those different types of small engines. So you have, again, I do want to reiterate, you have motorcycles, you have, there were also all-terrain vehicles in there, there were tractors in there, there were snowmobiles in there. So you have different types of vehicles that use, well, you have different types of vehicles that have small engines, and when you have those vehicles, this is the database you want to check out. Now, let's say that your local library does not have the auto repair tier, which is for automobiles, specifically for cars, trucks, vans, etc., passenger vehicles that you would drive on the road outside of motorcycles. But you do need that information. Well, Chilton is your other option, your other main option, and let's take a look at that. Pause. All right, so now let's take a look at that Chilton Library database that I was just telling you all about. This one is going to be your friend if you are working in a public library and people are savvy enough to know that this is available to them. So, for one thing, though, there are libraries, I do want to point this out as well, there are libraries that actually keep the physical copies. I used to work at a public library down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that kept the physical copies and collected the physical copies of the Chilton manuals so that they could, you know, check those out. And people did want to actually have the physical copy a lot of times that they could get it and they would, you know, check it out, do whatever work they had, etc., etc. Nothing beats having that whole manual. But if you don't have that whole manual at your library, that is okay because you do have this option as well. If your library has it, that is. Thankfully, mine does. All right, so you come into Chilton here, and I am going to show you the vehicle search part first. Let's do that. All right, so again, we're going to start out with this vehicle search here. And so what I'm going to do is I will do a previous car that I had. I'm not going to do the car that I currently have because I don't necessarily want to put all of that out there and have you all finding me. Just kidding. I know you all wouldn't do that. But let's go ahead and put my previous car before I bought my current Nissan. I had a 2002 Chevy Cavalier. So I can put 2002 make Chevrolet, and model Cavalier. Scroll down and do select. So once I do that, excuse me for a second. Okay, so I apologize. One thing that I just did was I need to correct myself. I think that I said you could get PDFs in this database as well. You cannot, but you can in the other database that we were just in. But what you can do, so again, I've got my 2002 Chevy Cavalier here, and let's say that I wanted to do some repairs. You can search for what you're trying to repair here in the freeform box. Or you can come here and let's say that I am dealing with lighting. I know that lighting is within body and accessories. Where did I go? I am supposed to be here. Hold on. Yeah, I feel like the image of me had kind of disappeared on my end. Hopefully it doesn't do that on the recording. But yeah, so you've got this. And then if you decide, well, you're wanting to deal with lights, then you can go to lighting systems. And yeah, let's say that I am trying to deal with cleaning, inspection, and adjustment. I can go here. And then I can pick whichever one is relevant to me, whether it's the front fog lamp aiming or the front headlamp aiming. This will probably be the one that more people are doing, so I'm just gonna click into it. Let me see if I can. I can't do that. Hold on for a second. Okay, so yeah, I just needed to stretch myself out a little bit. So once I do that, what you see is right here, front headlamp aiming. And you get your directions here as well as some diagrams and things like that. You can enlarge the diagrams and that sort of thing. And yes, you can print these, but they're not your neat little PDF prints, which I would prefer. But there is a printable view that can come up if you hit print and you don't get all of that other stuff to the side and everything. So it is best to use the print option that is there, okay? So that is it for repair, but then they've got these other features too. So if you wanted to deal with maintenance, you could come here and let's say, again, we've got the Chevy Cavalier 2002. It is still there, sorry. But then there's some other things that we can kind of take a look at here. I'm going to use my former car as an example. I think they're all 4-cylinder and they all use not diesel fuel, regular unleaded fuel, liters. Yeah. So if they don't have an option, then that means that it's just an IHAD base. If they don't have these various options here, let's see if these are available now. Yeah. Okay. So you got to go in order. Sorry about that, guys. It's been a little while. Mine was a 2.2. I know I did regular unleaded. Okay, gas, not biofuel. Cylinders 4, drive forward. Body type, yeah, I had a sedan. And transmission, mine was automatic. Operating. Okay, hold on, let me get this right. Okay, so I apologize for what you just saw. So my transmission was not automatic. It was standard. I don't know. All right, and then the operating condition was normal. And I actually, my dad still has that car and still drives it. It currently has 225,000 miles on it. Okay. All right, fine. All right, so we'll put in the maximum. It is a database that's a little picky. But yeah, so apparently you're not supposed to be able to drive it for 225,000 miles like I have. Okay, well, whatever. But once you put all of this in, then you can click the view service and you see the, we have the normal things here. These things apply, engine coolant, and I don't know anything about cars, so some of this is just kind of Greek to me anyway, but you got to replace your coolant every 100,000 miles, replace your engine oil every 10,000 miles, or every engine oil and filter change every 10,000 miles, or every 12 months. I believe it should be every 12 months. But maybe it's, I don't know. I don't even want to speculate. I'm just going to let the experts handle it. And then spark plug changes, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure if I were to put something a lot lower in there, okay, yeah. So they don't have things, they don't have your 75,000 mile under normal conditions includes, these are the things that you do want to service and inspect. And then if you had severe over here, this changes. Yeah. All right. So now, one thing that I will say is that you can kind of fake it until you make it here, because a lot of the stuff that I look at and see in this database, I actually don't even know what it actually is, but the car people do. If you have ladies and gentlemen who come in and they know about cars, when they see that stuff, they tend to know. And so all I had to do was pull it up, and then they would try to explain it to me sometimes at the desk and be like, "Oh yeah, what this means is blah blah blah," and I'm okay. All right. So you got that. Labor estimating. Don't know if we really. Well, let's see. 2002 vehicle. I'm not sure. I'm not even gonna. Especially a 2002 Cavalier. Let's do a 2000. Let's do a 2018 Nissan Altima, because I do have a family member that has one of those. So that we can do something different when we look at labor estimating. Okay. Let's get something to where people are still servicing these vehicles. All right, so we got this. Come on, I'll pause while it's happening. So yes, I do have bulletin and recall information in here, and what you can do is you can even go to, you've got various systems, symptoms, and then trouble codes. You can also do a keyword search if you're kind of confident with what you're doing. But systems, again, that depends on different functions within the vehicle, brakes, body, accessory and fluid, so forth and so on. If you're talking about symptoms, these are the things that are happening to your vehicle that you want to figure out what's up. Engine noise at startup, power, locked doors inoperable, so forth and so on. And then also you can have trouble codes. You had a check engine code or something like that. I am going to go ahead and go with symptoms because that's what I dealt with the most. And I will do, you can go ahead and do the brake noise, squealing, or grinding and see if there's anything that shows up with that. Show only recalls, I'm not going to do that. Click search. And then for these, you actually do, and this was issued on March the 14th of 2023, you actually do have the PDF for this. So there was a technical services bulletin issued in March 2023 for a 2018 vehicle, but the service bulletin was issued, and you got this information right here. And so you can probably even, some of this information is probably, again, I don't know exactly what this is saying, but this is something you can take to a dealer or a mechanic, somebody that you trust, and get them to use this somehow to make your vehicle better. All right. So you've got that, and there are a couple of other things that I just want to show you very quickly. Give me one moment. I'm going to pause this again. So other things that I want to show you is that there is a video library here, and so that's always good. So table of contents, things like that. Installation of brakes. That one is one of the most popular videos. So let's see if we can get this playing by any chance. Okay. Come on, give me something. I wanted to do the installation of brakes. All right, what's going on? Hold on, let me pause. Okay, so I don't really know what's going on there, but my video library is not working. Hopefully, if you go in and try to use this database for yourself, it will be working for you. Let's go to the test prep. This is the last thing I'm going to show you, and that is if you are trying to take one of the ASC technician tests, these can prepare you for that. So if you're trying to become a mechanic, you gotta test your knowledge on the subject area and that sort of thing, then this is something that you can do to kind of test and make sure that you are good. Let me go into one very, very quickly. I'm going to go into this one that has 8 questions. I'm not even going to answer them right, but I'm just going to show you what happens. Okay. Boom, boom. Yoink, doink, dink. And boom. Submit quiz. And I actually did get 2 of them right, believe it or not, and it was the first 2. All right, and then I got the last 6 wrong, so you get your score there. And that's how that works. And again, this is something kind of like how I showed you on Learning Express Library, that there are practice quizzes and tests in there. There are also those helpful resources in this particular database too. So that is that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you want to master these databases, and go ahead and contact your local library to see if they are available to you. And if so, go ahead, access them and play around with them until you have them mastered. Again, these are mostly for public libraries, but this can also be useful information for those of you who, for instance, again, when I was on Facebook, a lot of times my friends would ask questions on Facebook, and I would actually help them with library stuff, library databases, and library resources. And this is one of those if you have mechanics in your Facebook or your social media circle. So with that said, let's make sure that this does not go over 26 minutes. We can leave it at 25 minutes. So let's do that. I am Dr. Jace, and you can use these databases if you have a car, motorcycle, or other all-terrain vehicle that you wish to race. All right, I will see you all next week with another check-in video, and take care.